Yo, 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 yo. What's good, everybody? This is your man, Derek Denham, and I'm with the Rising Stars High School Football Podcast. And as always, I have the esteemed Booby, Reggie Booby Wins, ladies and gentlemen.
Damn, man, my name all messed up. Dog.
Well, see, that's why I had to get it right.
You know what I mean? That's all right. What up, though? Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, chicken and shrimp, baby.
What's good, man?
Nothing, man.
We had a long night last night. We back at it.
Long night, man. Went to saw Najee, baby, boy. He turned it out. Alexandric, man, we hung out, had a great time, man. Great show, man. I appreciate the invite, man.
You know, it's all love, man.
You know, he did a really good job, and I'm waiting on his next event. You know
Yes,
what I mean? But great job, man. I'm proud of D, man. So yeah, we had a good time, man. I didn't get home till about 1.
Hey, but I'm struggling today, everybody. So if I say a couple things, you like, hey, what's this brother talking about? Mm-hmm. You know why? But we here.
And he don't even drink, so I don't know why he's
Exactly.
struggling.
All that Fago, baby. And man, Canada Dry.
Yeah.
But hey, great show today, man. I'm just kind of preview everything as we got.
Yep.
We got some great hosts. Some great guests today. We got my man Nick Whiteside, formerly of Saginaw Valley, and he's currently in NFL. He's going to the Washington Redskins.
He's there.
He's there?
Yeah.
Okay. And we also have Mr. Alan True from 247 Sports. He's a recruiting guru. So if you guys are in high school, and that's why you're looking at this podcast, and parents too, you definitely want to listen to what Alan has to say. And then last but not least, we were supposed to have Mr. De'Lani Walker.
Deion Walker.
But unfortunately, he can't make the show today.
Got a big game this week. They had a bye this
Kentucky.
week. Top D tackle in the country, Deion Walker. But his best friend is coming on with his Jackson Pruitt from Temple. He's getting at a meeting. He'll be here. Just trying to shed some light on the recruiting piece from his standpoint, as well as Nick Whiteside. And then we're going to bring Alan in and talk about multi-things, man, for you guys to get some informed information.
Right. So we good to go, man. So before we get into all that, another big weekend of high school football here in the state, and we want to do our catch-up. So first, we're going to, out the gate, we're going to go with Brother Rice and Catholic Central.
All I got to say is two names, Skylar Hunter, Sam Gash. Skylar Hunter.
And Sam Gash. Sound like a rap, Sam, huh?
Sound like a rap song, but Sam Gash is true. He's a deal. Just picked up a couple offers, Toledo and Kent State. He's going to pick up some more. He was under the radar or watch list for me because he's special, 6 feet, 6'1". He's a 4'5", 4'4" guy. Playing wide receiver, I think he's a better DB once he work on it, but he's a top athlete in the state of Michigan and probably be the top 25 in the 26th class. So he dominated that game. Skylar, man, looked like Kyler Murray, man. He was all over the place. The little joker was running. And he's going to be on my watch list because he was very impressive against Brother Rice. And Brother Rice have some players, you know what I mean? Jeremiah Cross made some nice plays. The young quarterback did some things. It just wasn't enough to beat CC, man. And Justin Asante is doing a damn thing. Good job over there. They winning. They're making the right calls. They're coaching. They're just out-coaching everybody. I mean, Brother Rice is, my family, and they out-coached him. They literally out-coached him, man. And Brother Rice got more talent, but wasn't a 34, I think, 14 or something like that.
But Brother Rice seemed like despite the score, it seems like they're starting to improve.
No, if they stay patient and stay on the course and deal with the process, their ass is going to be good.
Right.
Because the young guys is ninth, they got probably 5 top ninth graders, and they blocking.
And they coming.
They catching. They running. You just don't understand the game. At the end of the game, man, it got a little chippy. And I was impressed with the little attitude and the little fight back, man, from Brother Rice. But they wasn't scared. Okay. So that says they're going to be better and tougher, man, next year. And it's just got to stay together, man, because they're going to pick up some more good young guys. They got Marshall probably come over there and the receiver, and they got some other young guys. They need some more linemen. But, I mean, Brother Rice looks better to this year than they did last 2 or 3 years.
Well, they're going to take their bumps and bruises, any young team. But That's not how you start.
That's how you finish, baby.
That's right.
So they done well. It's a very good game. So did you check out St. Mary's?
I did check out St. Mary's, and here's my report. They beat them. I mean, I don't know what else to say.
It's a good report. You know, that's a good report.
They beat them. I mean, no, and I'm being funny, but Country Day is not the Country Day that we all, the Jonas Gray era, the Kenny Dimmons. It's just it's a different thing going on over there right now, you know, and yeah, St. Mary's just dominating every aspect of the game. Yeah. Blocking, running, passing, catching, defense, offense. I mean, special teams. It was a total St. Mary's dominant victory, bro. So they look good. You know me. I don't take too much solace in blowing out teams that's undermatched. But a victory is a victory. Shout out to Coach Gonzalez and the crew over there, man. And again, another week to prove that they're back. So we're going to see. We're going to see. They pulled it out. Country Day again. They've got to turn things around, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're not getting the players that they were once getting. $40,000 a year over there, too.
Yeah, I know.
$40,000 a year. So that would stop a lot of people from coming over there. So, but, hey.
And Country Day got next Thursday night, U of D, if I'm correct.
I think you're right.
At Country Day, and U of D is trying to figure it out, and as well as Country Day. But you know, it'd be a good matchup.
Correct.
Be a good matchup. I don't think Cartwright is playing this week. I think he hurt his ankle.
Cartwright is out for the year.
Out for the year. Okay.
Unfortunately, so shout out to Cartwright, man, and he's one of those young, talented guys that does everything: basketball, football, baseball. Don't know which direction he's going to go in, but yeah, that's definitely a L for Country Day to lose him.
Yeah.
The rest of the year. So
I'd probably be at the Thursday game. I'd probably go there and make that game of the week.
Okay.
I like the running back over there, Country Day, Chase Dawkins, and the young quarterback James.
Man,
and,
they had
Derek
James,
Williams.
They had him running for his life. Man.
Yeah, no, but he's a baby. He's a sophomore, and he's going to get better.
Yeah,
6 feet, 6'1". So, the best experience is playing. You know? So,
no doubt.
You know, but yeah, we'll be there Thursday and check that out, man.
Cool. Who else you got?
I mean, you know, impressive win by the Lakers at West Bloomfield. They came back to beat Lake Orion. Lake Orion's one of the top teams in the state of Michigan. Coach Bell's over there, great coach, man, and they've been doing it. So I was like, okay, oh, man, I'm worried with West Bloomfield because they have not figured it out yet.
Sure.
But the two guys I was worried about was the best players on the field yesterday. And Bo Jackson stepped up and made some hell of a plays, and that's the Bo I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then Josh Tate, man, he rushed about 200 yards and 5 touchdowns, bro.
Wow.
And I knew he had it in him, man. He just got to let that dog out, you know?
Yeah. And
he was barking all down the field, man. He rushed for 200, man. I mean, he was running over people. Mm-hmm. Impressive, man. And Josh, shout out to you, baby. And I'm impressed. And I'm proud of you, what you're doing, man. And Elijah Durham made some great catches. And normally he always catching, but he made some great blocks. You know, spirit-freed Josh Tate, man.
Sure.
And Bo Jackson looked like a new person. On the way, West Bloomfield going to turn this around and just check everybody's self. Check yourself, man, because they got the team. And Lake Orion, the young quarterback Hill and Jeremiah Cooper over there, they got some dudes over there.
It's funny you talking about Lake Orion, and I will say this about with St. Mary's, going back to them, and they lost Darren Jones, man.
Oh, no.
No. I'm saying.
Oh, Lake Orion did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that kid, man, man, I mean, he's looking good for St. Mary's, man.
Yeah, he's a good runner.
He's doing his thing. So, I mean, for the Lake Orion doing what they're doing and lose a kid that's playing like that, that says a lot for Lake Orion, that they could afford to do that.
That quarterback, Hill, is a journeyman, man, and he has been doing phenomenal things for them for last 3-4 years. And size don't mean nothing, man. He is a dog. And Coach Bell is doing a phenomenal job over there, man. And
man, he's been doing this for how long?
Well, he stepped down and then came back.
That's
you
right.
know what I mean?
That's right.
And but I used to kick his butt in high school.
Well, we played against,
we used to kick his butt in high school. Right. So, but he's a great coach, man. And Lake Orion's going to be back up next week, and they're going to fight, man, and we're going to see what happens, baby.
Yeah, well, they seem to be definitely one of the contenders in a division. So, and then who we got after that? Anybody else that really
that's-
stuck out to you?
No, I mean, I want the DeWitt. I got to get this DeWitt team a shout out, man. They scored 60 points, man, and they scored 73. They are putting up
73?
55 plus, man, a game. So they got to get his team a recognition, man. DeWitt is balling. Them twins, man, Batman and Robin, boy.
Okay.
So they are really, really putting. I mean, they putting it on them, baby.
Wow.
So we better watch out for DeWitt, man. He's in there in my top 5. Matter of fact, it's 3. 1 is Bell, 2 is CC, and 3 is DeWitt, man. So I'm advising y'all, man, keep an eye on our team, man.
Well, how can you not keep DeWitt at the forefront every year? Perennially, they in the mix.
Right.
From, I mean, as far as I can go back, they're every year. They're well coached. They got the support of the whole community, man, and they just tough team. So I can always expect DeWitt to be in it at the end of the year.
No doubt, no doubt.
Anybody else?
No, I mean, that's a little bit. I just kind of went through a little bit and just kind of, we'll come back to that later, but yeah.
Okay. So let's do this. Let's bring in, we want to bring in Allen?
Westside.
Westside? Okay. So we got Mr. Nick Westside.
Whiteside.
Westside. Whiteside from the West Side. What's up, big dog? You all right, baby?
Yes, sir. How y'all doing today?
Yeah.
Hello?
Well,
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear y'all.
What's good, man?
What's up? How you doing?
Hey, man. Glad to have you, man. We know
I
you got
appreciate you guys.
Yeah, no doubt. We know you got a flight in the morning, man. We appreciate you giving us a little time. And we want you to have a good flight tomorrow, man, and do your thing tomorrow, man. And we're looking forward to big things. So welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
hey, Whiteside, man, what up, baby?
What's good, booby?
What they say in the frat world, Whiteside, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey, so when you was playing Whiteside, who was the top team when you was playing when Avondale?
Top team?
Yeah, who was your
top
in
team
high
when
school?
you played?
Like in the state?
Yeah.
Man, it was a lot of good teams. I know Cavs, of course. It was King. Eisenhower was good. West Bloomfield, my senior year, had a stacked team. Bloomfield, I've always felt like Bloomfield could have been one of the top teams, but each and every year their quarterback, John Paddock, always got hurt somehow before the playoffs. So I'd say Cavs, Eisenhower, West Bloomfield, and then Bloomfield.
So tell me this, man. Name me top 5 players out of your era, and where are they? Ooh, see.
In my class?
Yeah, your class.
Man. We talking about high school wise?
Yep, high school wise, at your time, your top 5 players, and where they're now.
Okay, I got John Paddock at 1.
Yeah, 1, 2.
Hey, Nick,
Illinois.
before you do that, lift up your camera, man, so we want to see your face.
My
There
fault.
you go, big fella. Come
There we
on.
go, there we go, there we go.
Yeah.
I got
Looking like a Muppet over there, half a head.
I got John Paddock at 1. I think he's currently with the Falcons, if I'm not mistaken, on P Squad.
Yeah.
I got Todd Zielinski. Nobody really know about him, but I think he holds the state record in receptions.
Oh yeah,
He played with John.
Yeah, Grand Valley.
Yeah, he played at Grand Valley. Trying to think.
And you
I guess three. You could put that whole West Bloomfield team.
No, who was there in West Bloomfield?
Right, you taking the
What
easy
year-
route out,
what year
bro.
was that?
I mean, it was a lot of guys. You had AJ, you had Todd, you had
Oh yeah, that's Bryce Beasley them.
Bryce Beasley, you had Trey popped off. Donovan was I think Donovan was
The
a
baby.
freshman.
He's a baby, yep.
He was a baby. Max was a baby as well. I'm trying to think.
Oh, you talking about Javon Foster, man? He played for the Jack.
Yeah, Javon. I forgot about Javon. Javon. I pretty much say that West Bloomfield team at 3. Of course, me at 4. I put myself at 1, but I'm gonna put myself at 4 just due to the fact I ain't start blooming until I really got to college for real. And then 5, I put Derrick Henry at 5.
Derek Hinton,
Yeah,
Avondale,
yeah,
Saginaw,
D
Orange Tech.
Hint, D Hint,
yeah,
baby.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
yeah.
I just saw him doing some custom workouts, and I'm like, I don't know what he's doing, but he looked pretty good.
Yeah. He doing his thing right now. He just waiting for the opportunity. So yeah,
Yeah, I know he is. It's coming. Uh,
yeah.
so, hey, Nick, so talk about your recruiting when you were in high school. How did it go, man? Because you know you was short as hell then.
Yeah, I was my recruit was pretty slow because I'll say this, Wins always told me to play DB and I
Hey
didn't
man,
listen to
hold on,
him.
hold on. We're telling everybody to play DB.
Well,
You know that?
they
He
get
tell
But I'm
drafted.
not
everybody.
gonna lie, when he suggests a position change, 9 times out of 10 it's gonna come true,
No
whether
doubt,
whether players like it or not. So
no doubt, no doubt.
uh I always saw myself as a receiver. I always used to get open against all the top guys. Um in the state, in the country when we used to go to camps. It was pretty slow though. I pretty much had interest from pretty much local college teams like Michigan, Michigan State, but just due to the fact I was undersized and I wasn't as fast, it was pretty much slow. So I ended up taking the D2 route, and I pretty much had most all of the GLIAC, Ferris, GV, Wayne State, Saginaw, Northwood. Only teams I didn't have was the UP teams, which was Northern Michigan and Michigan Tech. So I
Okay.
ended up going to Saginaw, committing to Saginaw um, to play receiver. Played in the All Star game, played good, but I played as a DB. And then I remember my wide receiver coach was like, "Yeah, they think about changing your position and everything," and I didn't really pay too much attention to that. And then like 2 days before reporting to school, they made me switch my position. So I switched to
Did
DB
you
in
switch your
college.
position, or you were just open to switching the position?
I wasn't. I told him no, and then the DB coach called Wins, and Wins called me, cussing me out, and telling me to try it out. So yeah, so
Hey,
shout out to Wins.
hey Nick, but check this out. What position Booby play in high school and
I
college?
think I think he played receiver, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah, I did.
isn't that?
Yeah.
And he always pushing DB, man. It's like this guy's a DB guru.
Hey, Nick. They don't take too many 5'8" DBs.
No, they don't.
You know what I mean?
True. That's
and
true.
I ran 4 deuces. Now, my coverage skill was decent. You know what I mean? I get in there and play a nickel and run with you, but
Right.
I ain't had no hops, man, like you had.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boy, I get the ball on the rim, but I couldn't even dunk.
yeah.
Yeah. But Nick, you was a dog, man. I mean, you know you were the underdog. You know, let's call it like it is. You were the underdog. You didn't go to the big football school. You know what I mean? Avondale, and you came in because I remember him playing against like a West Bloomfield, and you put in the work, man. So that's obviously paid off for you for where you at today and the opportunities that you have.
So tell them your transition when you went to college, man, and how that works, and how did you get to the point where you're at now?
I'll say that the transition for me was pretty smooth, honestly, because not a lot of people knew this. My senior year, I was 165, and then me and my mom and my parents, we came up with a game plan to go to Explosive Performance by John Vickers.
Mm-hmm.
So I was already in pretty much a college mindset after the football season ended. I would go to school, go to basketball practice, and then from 6:30, drive 30 minutes to Southfield, work out from 7 to 8:30, go home, eat, shower, rinse, and repeat. So I pretty much already had some type of college schedule. So it was pretty much a smooth transition for me. But as far as the high schoolers that will make that transition, this is definitely going to be hard getting used to because you gotta, you're used to being a man at high school, and then you go to college. It's like everybody's the man. Like everybody was a man at the high school, so it's like you pretty much got to climb the ranks, and you gotta take the good with the bad, and enjoy the process, and don't complain, and just show up every day, because that's the hardest thing, is showing up. As long as you show up, your mind will make sure you get the work done, and complete the workout and stuff like that. But just you gotta be all in, because like people say, once you go to college, you really see if you love football or not. You start getting into those winter conditionings, those 5 a.m. wake ups, and working out at 5 a.m. running, and conditioning and lifting. consistently. And especially if you're not playing, that's another thing. Like if you're redshirting, pretty much you're waking up early to go work out, and then you're practicing every day, knowing that you're not playing on Saturdays or traveling with the team. So it could be a pretty hard role for guys that transition from high school to college. But as long as you just continue to show up each and every day, the rest will take care of itself. And then obviously I stayed on the grind and stayed on the process to where now I've had opportunities to play in the NFL and going on my other venture of getting another opportunity to possibly get back into the NFL right now. So
Well, what we want to do now, we got Mr. Alan True from 247 Sports. And this is our guy, man. He's the recruiting guru, and we glad to have him on the show. And Alan, what I want you to do, man, is talk about Nick, man. I know you probably seen him in high school and his process. Talk about what type of player he was and what your evaluation was at that time. Can you hear us, Alan? Uh-oh.
Alan, can you hear you, baby?
Alan, see if you're muted. See if you're muted.
No, check. What's that?
Now am I on?
You there.
Got
You
you, yeah.
there. There you go.
Okay,
What's,
there we go.
what's going
I
on,
had to
my
switch
man?
the microphone.
What's good? What's good?
Hey, thanks for having me, first of all. But yeah, with Nick, it was another, you get these two-way athletes where you have to find the right position. I know you guys talked about that. And a lot of the time there's an assessment of, is a guy more of a DB, more of a receiver? And it does come down to, I think, availability and of where the scholarships are, where the needs are for certain schools, and then just where's your best chance to fit in at the next level. So he was able to find the right place, but always a really good athlete. Always did well at camps, and kind of took the kind of more winding path. I know he talked about having to get out to some events and show himself a little bit more. I think that's a good example. Not everybody can be, recruited right away as an 8th grader or 9th grader at a high level and go through all 4 years like that. Most recruits don't. Most recruits will have to kind of climb their way to some scholarships. And so Nick is a great example for those players who are listening on this, who maybe don't have the offers right now that they want. Nick kept his head down, didn't complain, focused on what he needed to do, and made it work for himself.
That's good stuff, man. Go ahead, Rich.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. This day and age is built for the Nick Whiteside, the similar type of personality, the player developing late, because the NIL makes that opportunity a whole lot easier to transfer. And we had a couple opportunities. We chose not to take it. But NIL is paying these kids. So to the kids out there, it don't matter where you go. I always say this is what you do when you arrive to another university. So Division II is not bad.
No doubt.
Because you can transfer. We got a couple guys that transfer from Division II that's playing for, one is playing for LSU, one is playing for Texas A&M, and one is playing at Wisconsin. So you have opportunity, and they all got NIL deal.
Right.
So, I mean, so this year and this day and time is built for the Nick Whitesides that's trying to figure out where they're going to go and to trying to figure out what position they're going to play.
Hey, Alan, is it?
And if you don't transfer, I was going to say, if you don't transfer, that's fine. There's a lot of good players that come out of the GLIAC. There's a lot of good players who go NAIA and D3 and have good careers. It's not always, those guys, it's just about continuing your football career, finding a place to play, finding a place to get an education. And sometimes I think we lose sight of that in the recruiting process, but there's a lot of very happy guys playing football at Hope College and at Alma and at Grand Valley and at Ferris State, and you name it, those guys who are out there playing on the field every Saturday, no matter whether that's at Michigan or a D3 school, those guys are getting to continue to play the game.
Alan, is there anyone out there now that you've been evaluating that kind of reminds you of Nick? In that situation or style of play or player?
Reggie and I have talked a lot about this Isaac Lee kid from Byron Center. He's a little bit different build than Nick, but he reminds me of Nick because he's kind of a late guy that we're finding. Schools are just starting to find out about him. Was he a receiver? Is he a DB? And he's kind of catching on. Another guy who doesn't go to a school Byron Center hasn't had like a ton of recruits, and so he's had to wait his turn a little bit. And so his story And the way his recruitment goes and the fact that he can play either side of the ball reminds me of Nick. Not necessarily, when you look at their measurables, they're not right on, but I think the situation is very similar.
It's very similar, yeah. That Isaac Lee, he's phenomenal. Run. I think he's a better DB than his wide receiver, but he loves receiver, but he has power 4 potential at corner.
Nice.
And I can see that happening soon because everybody's on him now.
Okay.
So
How tall? What's his height?
about 6 feet, 6'1",
Okay.
but 165, 170.
Okay. So that's exactly,
Oh, no doubt. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, his GPA is 3.9. I mean, he's just a special kid and he's a nice kid. He just got a first Division I offer at Western Illinois, and I'm sure he's going to get one soon.
Okay.
Just waiting to see what happens, but the kid can go.
Nice. We still got Nick. I
he's still up there.
I see a little white circle. So there you go.
I'm in here. I was waiting.
We know you multitasking, bro. So again, we glad to have you, man. Nick, when you were, did you ever get a chance to meet like Alan?
Oh yeah.
Like your
For
parents?
sure.
Talk a little bit about that, man, because like what Reg and I always talk about, and even in my own personal experiences working with whether it was family members or other kids, it was so important for us to let them know you've got to meet guys like Alan True. You've got to network with him. You got to say, hey, man, you got to introduce yourself. Hey, I need a recruiting profile, because these guys are the ones that really can put you on the map. So talk a little bit about that.
Wait, hold on for this.
Yeah.
Tell everybody how many times you call Alan to give you a profile and get you a 4-star. So just tell everybody how many times.
Nah. I used to bug Alan. Like that's I pretty much all I did. I remember at the time I had 2 Twitter pages. I had like just a main Twitter page, and then my other Twitter page was like my more professional page. But yeah, man, like guys like Alan, like guys who pretty much helped me, get those GLIAC offers. Just constantly like let them know, yo, I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be at this showcase. I'm visiting this school, and just it's just crazy how social media can work in such a powerful way these days. Because a simple tweet of, oh, Nick Whiteside is visiting Michigan State is having pretty much all of the GLIAC
Who is this kid?
out yo, we want you to come on a visit, we want you and stuff like that. So it was definitely like talking to guys like Alan and reaching out, just letting them know like that's a big thing. Like I always Wins always told us communication is key, networking is key. So it's like sometimes it's not always about how hard you work, but it's all about who you know at the end of the day. So it's like you gotta, in order to, if you want to be a 4 or 5-star athlete, you have to know all of these, top networking guys like Alan who knows, who's done these recruiting profiles for years and profiling for years, that he knows what a 4 and 5-star athlete is. So, I mean, just constantly just being in communication, with Alan definitely helped me out in so many ways. And just, man, just him, just like a simple video of me. I think I was at the Chicago showcase. A simple video of me going against a Division I corner and getting open. Just it took my recruiting almost to another level. So it's definitely important to talk to guys like Alan, who's been doing it for years, and his track record speaks for itself. I pretty much know like every 4 or 5-star recruit that that he has evaluated has gotten a chance at the league and thrived in the NFL.
So Alan, explain to the world out there how important it is to attend those 247, those camps, those media camps. How important is it, Alan?
And how important it is to get to network with people like you, man, to come up, and whether it's a parent and asking for your card and initiating that process. Yeah, talk about all of that.
Yeah, so there's twofold. So let's talk about networking first. I think networking is important because, for one thing, I think I'm pretty good with names and faces, but we meet so many kids on a yearly basis that if you don't come up and shake my hand and say exactly who you are, you can't assume that I'm going to remember you just because we've interacted via Twitter or social media, because I get so many messages that sometimes it takes a minute for a kid to say, hey, I'm such and such. I'm Nick Whiteside. I've messaged you on Twitter. Then I can now put a name to a face. and that helps a lot. And then that's something you'll want to do at a college camp too. You go to a college camp, sometimes there's 500 players out there. It helps when you shake a coach's hand. So I think I'm the practice ground for that. Practice on me, and so that by the time you go to a college camp, you're used to that process, and then you can take those skills beyond football. I think it's a training ground for then asking for, hey, I want to work for your company someday.
Sure.
Or you become a high school coach and you need to come back to recruiting analysts and say, well, I'm now coaching a kid, or I'm training a kid who needs a profile. It's just good practice to have that kind of communication with somebody. So when these recruits when you're talking to me or other media members, or now college coaches are messaging you, treat that like it's a very professional interaction. So as far as the camps go, it's the same thing. I think that they're important for a number of reasons. The first thing is, as a practice event, if you haven't run a shuttle and you haven't run a 40, or you haven't done a one-on-one, it's a lot better to work that out at a Rising Stars session or an Under Armour or a Sound Mind, Sound Body, so that when you go to a Michigan State one day and they're evaluating you for an offer, that's not the first time you've ever run a shuttle or a 3. And you guys know this, one-on-ones in a camp is not always simulating real football. It's like a different game. So you have to learn how to get a rep. You have to learn how to be in line. You have to learn how to make the most out of that rep. And I think that's learned over time. You have to go to a couple of camps or have someone kind of show you the way of how to do that. And I think a great way to learn that is to go to some of these outside camps. And as Nick mentioned, sometimes the right clip will get out. We're really lucky in Michigan to have multiple recruiting analysts live in Michigan.
True.
Not just me, but for a long time, Josh Helmholt was doing it. Rivals. He lived in Michigan. We have the D zone, which if you look at other states, there's not an I zone in Indiana or Illinois or something. We have a D zone. That's rare. So take advantage. We have Michigan Exposure now. That's a really great Twitter. So somebody's going to catch some video and put it out there. Athlazon, it does a great job. Like, somebody's going to put that video out. So that's another something where the right rep gets out there, like what Nick experienced, and that might help you take off a little bit. So I think it's important for a number of reasons. Now, you do have to pick the right camps. I wouldn't go to every single camp. I wouldn't pay the money to go to every single camp. You have to know who's running it. Right. You have to know who's going to be there that can help you, and kind of assess that before you just sign up for every single, because you're going to get invited to a lot of things.
What I want to do is open up the phone lines, if you guys don't mind. We've got Nick Whiteside and Mr. Alan True from 247 Sports. Phone numbers, area code 248-805-112. I'm getting old, Reds, 28. So again, 248-805-1128. Call in now. We always stress that. Here's your opportunity to talk to someone like Alan True and get that insight. Talk to Mr. Nick Whiteside, who's a NFL player. Here's your opportunity. So call and ask those questions. That's why we're here.
So, Nick, just add a little bit and talk about how many. Was you a star? 1 star, 2 star?
I couldn't even tell you.
Wow.
Well, I mean, you had your head down, and
wow,
yeah,
that's fine. But because stars to me didn't make you a bad or a better person, a player. You know what I mean? Just put your ass to work. You know what I mean? Let's get to work.
I love it.
You know what I mean? But stars mean a lot to some people, and some people drive me crazy with them stars.
And then don't get it twisted, though. I mean, because there's two sides to every coin.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because, and Alan can attest to this, I always say, what comes first, the cart or the horse? Because a lot of coaches, man, and you can't tell me they don't pay attention to what you say or what Alan True says or what, Josh Helmholt or Sam Webb and M. Go Blue. What comes first? Because a lot of times these coaches can't be everywhere. They'll see what you guys or what Alan is talking about or who he's profiling. I know this to be true. So talk a little bit about that, guys.
I want Alan to answer how important is when you go to these camps and they offering combine status, 40-yard dash, shuttle. How important to run to become a 4-star, 3-star, 2-star?
Okay, so yeah, let's first just talk about that. College coaches do solicit the opinion of people like myself and Reggie.
No doubt.
But they are asking us direct questions. They're not just looking at the stars and offering off of that. That's what people think.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really what happens. They call and say, hey, this guy, what do you know about this guy? This guy. Isaac Lee, who we just talked about to that extent, wasn't ranked or was a 2-star when we first started asking around about him. And he's now a 3. But at the time, schools were interested in him, even though he wasn't a highly ranked guy, just based off of our word of mouth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's, Eli Bickel from North Branch, middle of nowhere, not ranked, offered by Michigan State recently.
That's right.
So that can happen. I think the stars are, first of all, take more. People are always skeptical of them, right? Because when you try to predict the future and when you try to label somebody something, people are always going to push back on it.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, they're pretty accurate. If you think about 2,000 guys being ranked a year, most of those guys you hear about the outliers, the Travis Kelce's who are not highly ranked who make it. But for the most part, they correlate pretty well. We're never going to be perfect.
Sure.
But they're not as important to actually getting offered as people may think.
Alan, before you go on, we got a caller. We want to make sure we take full advantage of your knowledge, man. Caller, go ahead. You're on the phone.
I just wanted to ask Alan, how good is the DN from Skegit, the one that 2027 DN that's ranked top 10?
What? Introduce yourself, man. Who you call? Who are you? Give us your name.
Oh, my name is Tyree Daquan.
Okay. Alan, did you get that?
Yep, got it. Ricardo Kitchen from Muskegon. Reggie has watched him too. Super, super talented kid. 6'6", 230, played varsity as a freshman, made plays against good teams. I think he's still an upside guy, waiting for him to just completely dominate. I think he'll get there, but being just a sophomore right now, he's ranked highly because of what he can be, and he's shown flashes of that. I think as he gets more consistent, but he'll validate that ranking. But he's a no doubt high major guy, just too much frame and athleticism and ability. I mean, against Warren De La Salle last year, you can pull the clip up. He's running back down 40 yards downfield as a 6'6" freshman. So he's got some special abilities.
Very special. I call him a doo-doo because he's really good. I watch film. I went to a game and watched him, man. He's special, quick, fast, and he's big.
Okay.
And it's hard to find those big, quick, fast guys, man, especially in the D-line. So he's special.
Wow. Nick, you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nick, anything else with Nick? Because we can let Nick go. I know he got, big night. Got a flight in the morning. So anything else for Nick, guys?
I'm good. You got anything else for Nick?
No, I'm good. It's good to see you though, Nick. Glad you're still doing your thing.
Yes, sir. Appreciate that.
Nick, make sure you check back in, man. Let us know how everything went, man, and we love to get you back, okay?
I do want to circle back. Reggie asked about running at events.
Yep.
So first of all, I would not just go run if you're not ready to run.
That's correct.
Good point.
Don't run if you're not ready to run. Don't show up don't have that be your first 40 you've run in months. I always recommend, especially if you're a skill guy, even if you're not a skill guy, but particularly if you're a skill guy, go run track. Because even if you don't win state,
wow,
you're going to learn how to run.
There you go.
And I think that's important.
No, that's very important.
But Alan, I don't want my guys calling me and say, hey, I don't have a star. I'm not a 5-star. But hell, you didn't run track. You have no track numbers or measurables. You didn't run no 40s. You didn't go to no camps. It's impossible to be a 5-star if you've done nothing.
7-star, right?
Unless you're the exception would be is, so we watch a lot of high school tape.
Mm-hmm.
And if you watch the top 200 receivers in the country, all their tapes are going to look pretty good. And it's going to reach a point where they all look very similar. It's going to be really hard to decide who's number 14, who's number 21, who's number 35, even down into the 70s and 80s. They all kind of look the same to an extent.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all faster than the people they're playing most of the time. That's why they're a Division I recruit. So in order to separate yourself from the other fast guys with good huddle tapes, it is nice to have a secondary measure of how athletic you are. So whether that's a track time or somewhere that you ran, or if you play another sport like basketball, that can help. The exceptions would be like the complete freaks of nature. Like when we watched, I remember when I had first started and we put Reggie Bush's high school highlight tape on. That guy didn't need to run.
Yeah.
So unless you have tape that's that good,
Mm-hmm.
you probably would have to. Now that's if your goal is to be ranked highly.
Mm-hmm.
That certainly helps the equation. And people want to ask, well, why? Why does that matter if I'm good at football? Well, it's because we're watching a bunch of guys that are good at football, and that helps. Any little thing that can help separate one guy from the other, that does it. And I think that the track times correlate. And when you look at the NFL, especially at the skill positions, 99 out of 100 times that guy can really, really run.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys who ran track and a lot of guys who ran good 40s are playing on Sundays.
Now the stars is correlating with possibly drafted. That makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. And again, that's another something that people get confused about. Like, why do you care about draft position when you're evaluating these players for college, right? And the explanation on that is you don't get drafted based on your high school career or your college career or your NFL career. You get drafted based on your college career. So the draft is a measure of how good you were in college. And it's just a way to have a definable number to say, well, we had somebody ranked 41 and they got drafted 54th. It helps us be able to figure out how closely the NFL evaluation is. Not because the NFL evaluation is always correct. That's just a lot more black and white than if we were to say, well, a 5-star means you're an All-American. Well, the All-Americans are chosen by media. So that has bias to it, right?
Yep.
So we figure the best evaluation system that's created for football players is how thorough NFL teams are. So that's the best thing that we can use as a measuring stick.
So do you think, just me, you probably don't think this, the stars to me is overrated because you control your destination, because we just spoke to one that got an NFL that had probably no stars, and me and Alan probably know several kids that have no stars that got drafted. Now, it's overrated. It's a foundation. I get it. But some kids and some parents is going overboard on these stars. I mean, they harassing me. I know they harassing Alan.
Well, it's an ego thing.
Okay.
It's like, back in the day, I'm gonna emphasize back in the day when you was going to the club and you're trying to get as many numbers as possible. You only need one. You only need one. That's why I emphasize back in the day, guys. But I remember the great Tyrone Wheatley used to say, hey man, you just, like I said, you just need one. Just need one. You need one opportunity. And sometimes you may need one star. Braylon Edwards coming out of high school was not a 5-star or 4-star guy. I think Braylon ended up being like damn a 3-star. And then he really blew up when he played in the Michigan high school all-star game that they have annually. So sometimes, man, I mean, it's just an ego thing. It makes you feel good. Hey, I'm on a level with, this guy over here, this whoever. But then when you get to college, man, it starts all over.
Yeah, no doubt.
I think the stars are a little bit, it's like an accolade. It's like making All-State.
Yeah.
Right.
It's nice to have. It's nice to put it on your resume. It's nice that somebody recognized that. It doesn't actually carry any weight in terms of, like, a school will never offer a guy because he made All-State. School will do the evaluation. I think schools do the same thing with the stars. For as much as people think schools just offer off of stars, that doesn't happen. Now, I will push back some, and that there are some unranked guys that make it to the pros, but there's just this, like, if you turn on college football now and you watch Alabama play and you see Ryan Williams and you watch Ohio State play and you see Jeremiah Smith and you see Emeka Egbuka and you see some of those guys. I mean, and you see how Quinn Ewers was playing and then he gets hurt and Arch Manning comes in. People were very skeptical. You just ranked there because of his name. You can't. I can tell you how many times we heard that and now look at the way Arch Manning is playing.
That's true.
Last several number 1 overall picks in the draft, 4 or 5-star guys. So for the most part, they're not 100% right?
Right.
But they're not as wrong as people think that they are either.
Hey, Alan, I remember seeing Arch Manning, man, some of his high school film. I'm like, who the hell is they playing? I mean, real talk. It's like they were playing the little freshman team. So, but hey, he proved us wrong and he balling. So it's like anything sometimes. It's all a matter of your perspective. You know what I mean?
I just want my viewers or my players and out there, these kids, man, just work, man. Just
Basically.
work, man. And the stars will take care of itself because
Basically.
me and Alan eyeball everybody.
Right.
We're going to identify, are you good enough? Are you a 5-star? I mean, I want your play to be so dominant, Bryce Underwood, that when you look at Bryce Underwood, you're like, shit, he's the best player in the state of Michigan. He's the best player in the field.
Right.
But, I mean, that's what you have to be. If you go to a game and you a 4-star and I don't know who you are, at the 4 quarters, I got problems.
Mm.
You know what I mean? But as a football player, as a parent, teach your son to work hard to earn what he wants.
Put your head down, like Nick said.
Yeah.
Nick didn't even know how many stars he was.
And it's typically those kind of guys who have that mindset that make it. The guys who bother, who worry too much about the ranking and offer counting, typically don't succeed as much as the guys who, like Nick, who I don't know where I was ranked. I don't know how many offers I had. I just did what I had to do. That's a mindset that you start at this point in the process. And I realize that I'm saying that as somebody who works in the media, but as I've tracked it over the years, the guys who I've seen surprise us are usually the Nick Whitesides, who don't say a whole lot, who don't complain a whole lot. He's created those habits starting in high school. And so I think that that's another way to look at it is it's use it. I don't mind being used as motivation. I don't mind if you make it to the pros and tell me I was wrong.
Right.
But in the moment, yeah, just work, just keep your head down. And for the most part, like the Isaac Lee took a minute. He's a great example. Took a minute. He didn't complain about anything. He just kept working, kept doing his thing. And he went from unranked to a 2-star to a 3-star, still climbing. And to that point too, if you look at the NFL, there's a variety of guys who make it. If you want to choose a story, you can find a guy who didn't play football in high school who made it to the NFL.
Sure.
You can also find a guy who was dominant from the minute he touched the field as an 8-year-old and made it to the NFL, and everything in between. There's no one type of player that makes it to the pros. And that's what makes our job so hard, is because there could be some dude who hasn't even put on a helmet yet, who's about to play for the first time as a senior, who ends up getting drafted in 4 years.
And I love those stories, man. I mean, it doesn't take too much to go see what's a kid? Give me an example. Bryce Underwood. It don't take too much to go see, or to rank him or to evaluate him. I mean, it is what it is. But I like those like Reds, I like those the rising stars guys. Right. The ones some people don't know, he's worked his ass off, like a Nick Whiteside. Everybody didn't give him his props. He didn't have any stars. Those are the ones that really excite me and get me like, wow, yeah.
But Alan said it best. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. I'm doing my job based on what I see.
Yeah.
Like I tell my people, I can't get you off and you got no film, because that film is your resume.
Well, we got, and I'm going to read a couple of comments, guys, if you don't mind, but we got Alton Marks, the legendary dad of our guy, A.J. Marks. He says there's plenty of highly rated 4 and 5 stars guys with no film. What you got to say about that, Alan?
Ooh.
Not in my states. I don't know, that maybe nationally, but in Michigan, if they're ranked up that high, they probably have film where I've seen them or something. And that's the other thing to remember about this, is that not every region is done the same. They're done by different people. Just like on a college staff, the way that a quarterback is evaluated by one staff is different than you have strengths and weaknesses on a coaching staff. We're the same way. We have pockets of the country where we're stronger than others. I'd like to think I take care of my Midwest pretty well.
You do.
I think we're strong in some other areas, but that's where you may see. But usually there's an explanation for that. Without a specific example, I can't go into why or why not a guy may be ranked there. But to that point, again, I mean, I remember in the early 2000s or mid 2000s when the Lions were drafting, it was like one year they picked Stafford, who was the #1 player in the country from the minute he walked onto a high school field, and then became the #1 overall pick in the draft. And it was one of those years around there. They also picked Ziggy Ansah, who played 0 high school football, didn't even play football, I think, until his second or third year in college and became a first-round pick.
First-round
So
pick.
again, that's just like there might be a Ziggy Ansah out there who doesn't have film that ends up making it. So in our business, we're like, we have to assume anything is possible and then just start to figure out from there what order to put these guys in. But there is undoubtedly going to be somebody who we miss because there's going to be a Ziggy Ansah who just is a good athlete who never tried football, or somebody who blooms late, somebody who grows. I think Allen Robinson is a great example of that.
Absolutely.
I think when I met Allen Robinson at St. Mary's, I want to say he was like 5'9".
Wow.
And you blink and a couple of years later, he's 6'2", 6'3",
Right.
dunking basketballs. So those stories happen, and so there's guys who still grow a little bit into their senior year and into college. So that's the other hard part about what we're doing is you're making assessments of guys at 15, 16, 17, and some people just bloom later than their counterparts.
Alan, how important is the height thing? Because that's something we always talk about. The height thing. From coming from you guys, from your side of the table.
You mean height? You mean size?
Size, height. How important is that? Because like you said, we can talk about AJ Marks, the KJ Hamlers, Alan. I know we all know that how that came about with KJ when he was first. People were evaluating, man, he's small, but he can play. He's small, but he can play. And from coming from the other side of the table, the parent or the kid, they're like, well, our kid can play. What's the problem? Talk a little bit about that, man. How that plays a big part in how you guys evaluate and why it's important. Because I know you guys are thinking about how the college coaches are looking at it. So talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. We don't always agree with the college coaches either, by the way. For the most part, it's going to line up, but that we're not always in agreement. I think it's the measurables thing and the height thing. It also depends on, it's a case-by-case basis, right? Some guys can outplay their measurables. Some guys have the measurables but don't play up to it. And again, there's everything in between. So to say we always take measurables over film or we always take film over measurables, neither of those is true 100% of the time. It's always done on a case-by-case basis. And so I can use an example like KJ to say, well, he didn't have great height, but he ended up being a 4-star. And I can find other examples similar to him. So I don't think that it's not 100% the case all the time. It does depend on the position, like offensive tackles, generally speaking, if you're 6'5", 6'6", 6'7", that's what we want you to be. There are a handful of 6'3", 6'4" tackles who make it in the NFL. Those guys are very rare. Trying to pick those guys out of the stack would be very hard. We do our best, but so I think I think doing what we do, you take in all the information you can because we're evaluating so many players. Again, we're trying to separate so many players. I want to know everything. I want to know what their film looks like. I want to know what they did in a camp. I want to know what their measurables are to the best that we can. And then we decide at that point how much stock to put into each category, depending on what we're seeing on each thing. But to say like 100% of the time, we take 60% measurables, 30% film, 10% like that. I can't say that. It's different for every situation.
Sure.
And, Andre Sheldon, he was a 4-star, wasn't he?
He was, yep.
Yeah.
But not off the rip. I mean,
no, I mean not off the rip, but when he played and went to Michigan, he was a 4-star.
Right.
But I mean, there's hope for them guys because of the fact he was small. He was 5'9". KJ was 5'9". So don't look at the size, look at the ability in your mindset. I mean, like AJ Marks makes some plays right now, been phenomenal.
No doubt.
And he's not small, but he's 5'9", 5'10". You just got to find the right person who likes you.
I think what happens is, like I said, even in the pros, we understand the measurables in the pros. 40. I mean, that's why do you think guys go get a speed guru to help them with their 40? It's people buy into it. Now, does that mean if you go run a 4.2 that you can John Ross? You may not end up being that big time player. But then on the other hand, Worthy from Texas, he was decent in college, but now Hell, he went and ran that 40. Now he's getting a great opportunity with the Chiefs.
And he actually can play. You know, so I mean,
Yeah, when you talk about measurables, I think we're talking about that, we value being able to run more than anything.
no doubt.
Sure.
So more than height, and when you talk to college coaches, that's one of the first things they ask is, well, can you run? And that's at every position.
That's
They-
right.
Interior offensive linemen have to be able to run. Interior defensive linemen have to be able to run. Linebackers have to. Everybody on the field. I mean, this is a game now where it's like built on speed, but it's like measurables have to matter some because it still is a sport. It still is a physical sport.
That's right.
And things like size and speed are going to matter. We just have to decide in each case how much it matters. And some guys happen to have football skills and abilities that that kind of transcend their size.
Alan, Jeff asked, how often do you talk to high school coaches to figure out character and work ethic?
We do the best we can. I mean, there's so many kids, again, that we're ranking that you can't get as intimately knowledgeable about what a kid has here and here in all of those cases. We try to do the best that you can. I think you can tell a little bit on film too, or you observe them at a camp, you kind of get to know them. We do talk to people around them, you know, in some cases, most cases, your high school coach isn't going to say, well, he doesn't have good character and he doesn't work hard. So that has to come from somewhere. You know, we try to figure those things out. And we also understand that, you know, again, at 16, 17, you're physically developing, but you're also mentally developing. So I don't want to hold it against a kid if they haven't figured some of those things out yet. I was still a work in progress at 16 years old.
That's
and
right.
So I think you have to figure out, you know, there's guys who I thought didn't have the work ethic, didn't like football, and they're playing in the NFL. So again, you can find an example for just about anything, but we do try to take into account, is a kid working hard? And I think for the most part now, kids are very dedicated, more than ever. When I first started, there weren't outside training programs. They weren't going to all these individual trainers, and there weren't the Rising Starses, and there weren't P80s, and there weren't places like that. Now they're popping up all over. So I think that as the sport has evolved, I think kids have learned that you have to put in some outside work in order to get there.
No doubt.
Alan, you made me think, how often, or have there ever been a time where you went to a game, high school game, and you seen a kid, you didn't know who the kid was because nobody talked about him, coaches or whoever, but then you like, damn, who is this guy?
Oh, yeah.
You know, you go to see Derek Denham, but hey, you notice there's another guy over here. You go talk to the coach about him. They're not really saying too much about him, but you know from doing this so many years that guy probably has some potential, probably could play, but he may not be in the right situation. Has that ever happened?
Absolutely.
Happens all the time. And it happens a lot with young guys. If I go to a game knowing there's a couple of juniors and seniors that I'm there to see, and then all of a sudden there's a freshman on varsity. I want to say, man, I'm trying hard to think of an example. Or if you had like an Aiden Hutchinson at Divine Child, go to see him, but then, you know, Theo Day is their quarterback. Then all of a sudden, you know, that guy's pretty good. I think Theo had just transferred over from CC.
That's right.
And so, you know, I remember seeing him and going, I probably should look into that quarterback. So it happens almost weekly. The first thing I do when I get to a game is I look at a roster and I look for 9s and 10s on the roster so that I'm not missing young guys who are already up on the varsity. It's a little bit rare that there's a 12 that we don't know. It happens from time to time. It would have to be somebody who hadn't played. Like I remember, remember Aristotle Taylor at Brother Rice?
Absolutely.
He was one because I don't think he had played football. Wow. So sometimes that happens, or somebody was hurt or somebody transferred in. But for the most part, whenever I get surprised by who's that, it's usually a freshman or a sophomore that came up to varsity.
Now, what's the D tackle from Brother Rice's at Boston College? Because I watched him in my camp.
Oh, Eric Doherty.
Doherty. Oh my God, yeah, he was one of them guys. When I watched him, I said, "Ooh, who is this?"
And you didn't really
know. And then I think Allen saw him, and he was starting to get some offers, man. And he was a good-looking kid.
Okay.
So now he's at Boston College playing.
Right. Well, what I want to do, guys, I don't know if you've seen him pop in the screen, but we've got Mr. Jackson Pruitt, offensive guard from
Tackle. Tackle.
Sorry, Jackson.
Tackle, center, and guard. And
Oh,
kicker.
well, hell, he do it all. He do it all from Temple University. What's good, bruh?
How you
Man, we
doing?
great, man. Glad to have you, man. You got myself, Booby, and then you got Mr. Allen True for 247 Sports. Let me get it right, Derek. 247 Sports. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Happy to be here. Happy to be here.
I know you just got out of a meeting, man. Tell Coach Drake what up, though. Hey, man, but we talking about stars, man. And how did your star ranking go, man? Did you, hey,
I mean, for the most,
nephew, did you bug Allen too?
I mean, yeah, definitely. Like at the beginning, like I really understand like the process and everything, but really like the stars is to more help the coaches and like kind of just seeing like rank guys like where like predict we could go, but like all in all, like it matters to a point of trying to get to the next level, but as far as like once you get here, like it doesn't matter anymore. It's just like whatever you put on film, whatever you decide to do every day, is what it's gonna be. And like me, like I was a 3-star pretty much all through high school. And then kind of like I know that's how I learned like the different ratings and versions of 3-stars and stuff like that. And so like I was like on the higher side being a 3-star like as everything like went on for me. But as far as that, you didn't really didn't get too caught up with that because I still got all the Power 5 offers, Group of 5 offers. So that's just how they see you on the rating scale. But it's not nothing to really be thinking about it. And as long as you perform and playing, like you're gonna get a rating somewhere, some way, somehow.
Hey, Jackson, do me a favor. Turn your camera on for us.
Oh yeah.
We can see them beautiful whites, man. Turn them on for us.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
So, Allen, does it makes a difference with your rankings predicated on your offer that you have?
No, that's another myth, especially now when kids, man, when I started, you would get maybe 5 to 10 offers, right? Only schools that were serious about you. Now every schools offer so many guys that we can't take that into account. And then you have the assessment of like what's committable and what's not. And I think that we also learned early on that you make a lot of mistakes following the offer list. You miss guys by following the offer list. Braylon Edwards, to your point, didn't really have a remarkable offer list up until when Michigan offered him. But it wasn't like that Michigan was fighting off the whole country for Braylon. So you miss guys like him,
right?
When you just look at the offers, and you can overrate some guys if they have a ton of offers, and maybe those offers are predicated on a projection, or there's another reason that they have some of those offers. Some guys get non-committable offers because of who they know, and that does happen from time to time. So we do our best not to let that affect us. As human beings, of course, you're going to have some, this guy's getting a bunch of offers. The offer's affected in that if we see a guy picking up a bunch of offers quickly, we'll say, all right, we need to evaluate that guy now. Sure. But we don't go into it with an idea of what the evaluation will be. We just know, well, schools are starting to like this guy. We probably should take another look at him or take a look at him. And I also think to Jackson, to talk about Jackson a little bit too.
Yep.
I think that there's the thought is that like a 3-star isn't good or something. A lot of people have a misconception of what that means.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of parents have a misconception of what that means, because if you go to a 3-star hotel, it's an average hotel, or if you go to a 3-star restaurant, that doesn't sound good. Mm-hmm. But in the case of what we're doing, a 3-star is especially if you're on the higher end of a 3-star, that's a Power 5 guy. So it's a different scale than when you're looking, because there's only 32 5-stars. So most players are going to fall into some range in the 3-star. And that's why we have low 3-star, mid 3-star, high 3-star, because they're not all the same. If you're a high 3-star, you're really like a 3.9 star. But it's not always apparent when you look at it. So I think the system's bad. I mean, the system is a bad system because you're trying to fit 2,000 high school players really into 3 boxes. Because like I said, you only give 32 5-stars, and then you give 300 4-stars. So then you're really just separating 3 stars and 2 stars. The system isn't vast enough to cover the amount of high school kids we evaluate. But the system is the system, so we have to work within it.
We're bringing Jackson into the fold, man. I remember seeing him coming to your camp, Reds. And one thing about this young man, he didn't matter who was there, he wanted to compete. You know what I mean? So if it was one-on-ones, well, he always competed with an attitude. And that's why he might smile a little bit, but he was like, I'm the baddest mama out here every time he was at camp. So I mean, Jackson, talk a little bit about that, man, how your competitiveness when you was in high school and even now in college while you in the Big Ten. Talk a little bit about that.
Uh, really, it's just like I always even like in high school, I feel like I always had to like prove myself a little bit more. Um, and just like I always had like the size and stuff like that. It wasn't like I was undersized or anything like that, but just I feel like I was just as good as some like the better guys. And some guys like Adam Mitchell like were considered like 4 or 5 stars. And so it's just really like one like me want to better myself because it's like if I'm going against the best, I know like maybe I'm not winning now, maybe I'm not winning then, but I know at some point I'm gonna be to that level. And it's just
Mhm.
like not being afraid of competition. Living that way in college now, like just going at everybody, like not really looking at a name or ranking, nothing like that. Like I'm just going on the field and put my best foot forward. And I mean, you gotta have fun playing football. So like, I might talk a little mess over here and there, but that's just me having fun.
Right.
Check your mic, Jackson.
Yeah, you're getting a little feedback. You on your cell phone or are you on your computer?
I'm on my iPad.
iPad? Okay, no problem. Hey, Alan, talk a little bit about Jackson, man. When what you seen when you went to, the first time you seen him from his maybe from when the first time you seen him up through his senior year in high school.
Actually, I think the very first time I saw him, I thought he might be a defensive guy. I mean, he
Mm,
had been doing some reps there, but then as he progressed, um, every time he is right. Every time he went to a camp, I knew he was going to win reps.
that's
He was
right.
one of those guys who had, like I said earlier, about kind of learning the system of how to camp.
Mhm.
Jackson always got reps. You never had to worry about him taking reps and getting reps. He never shied away from going against the top guys, which we noticed that too. We noticed if you're about to go in line and maybe you move so you get a little easier matchup, or you stay
Right.
away, or you get beat and then you go stand in the back of the line for a while. Those
Yeah,
things get noticed. Jackson took a lot of reps.
sure
He
did.
won a lot of reps. He showed up to a lot of things, always competed, and he physically progressed a lot too as he got older, got bigger, got stronger. But the biggest thing with him is I think that competitiveness really showed up at camps.
Hey, Jackson, what was the hardest part, the transition coming from Cass to the Big Ten and Temple, man? Talk a little bit about that. What was the biggest challenge, the biggest hurdle you had to cross?
Can't hear you, baby. No.
You
Hold on.
still a little.
You hear me now?
Yeah, go ahead.
Uh, I was saying, I think the biggest thing for me, like coming to college, I think a lot of people they got focused on now is learning to play good. Like, really understand football and not just run left and run right. You really get to play good.
We having a hard time hearing you, man. With your, we're gonna go back to Allen and then try to straighten out. Even if you got to call us back on your phone, iPhone, try that. Do that. And we're gonna talk to Allen for a second. We still got you though.
Let's, Alan. I want to talk about what do early offers means,
Hmm.
and how can I keep my early offers? Because let me explain myself. And it's frustrating as hell that they get the early offers. They feel that they arrive and they're going to be able to commit tomorrow. That means just the opposite. That means that you have to continue working to keep your offers, and you got to continue building relationships. So just kind of talk about the early offers, man. How can we keep our offers, man?
Yeah, early offers don't. I wouldn't say they mean nothing, but in some cases they mean very little because that can be taken away immediately, and we have seen many examples of that over the years where a player doesn't progress and they're not able to commit to some of those early offers, or they wait too long and maybe their spot gets taken by somebody else. An early offer means that school thinks that you'll be good enough in by the time you're a senior. So whether you're a seventh grader or an eighth grader or a ninth grader, they think by the time you sign as a senior, we think that you'll be able to play for this school.
Potential.
If you don't do the things in between those years to prove them right, they'll take that away from you. So
Mm.
it doesn't. It just means that somebody thinks you might be good enough someday. So that's the projection part of it. So in some rare cases, they may take a commitment from a freshman or a sophomore. That's extremely rare, and you shouldn't bank on that. And even if they take your commitment, let's say you commit as a freshman or sophomore, and you still don't do what you're supposed to do, they can get out of that commitment too. So yeah. So there's no guarantee of anything. So I think that early offers are, it's nice to have. You know, the Michigan just offered an 8th grader in Belleville this week. And I talked to his mom, and she said, it's cool. Enjoy it. But after today, you enjoy it on Sunday, and then I don't want you to talk about this offer anymore.
Love it.
Because I think she has the perspective that means 0 right now. It doesn't mean 0, but it means closer to 0 than you think.
There you go.
And we all think he's going to be good, but there's no guarantee of any. It might not even be his fault. What if he doesn't grow? Or what if he doesn't develop? What if he gets hurt? Nothing is guaranteed. So that, I think that philosophy needs to be had on early offers. The philosophy is enjoy it. It's really cool that you got it. You should be proud. You had to do something right. It doesn't happen by mistake either.
That's right.
So you've done something right to this point to get that offer, but keep it in perspective. Remember that, put it on your social media, and then whatever you need to do the next day, whether that's go to lifting or film or whatever it is to further yourself, go do that and be the same person that you were before you got the offer.
Now, and just to add to that, when you get the offers, remember we said it, it's potential offer, potential. Now, some people said fake. There's no such thing as fake, because potential, they gets other universities to look at your film to identify, is you that right person, or are you good enough for me to offer?
Yeah.
But we have to understand out there, when you get an early offer, man, you got to keep working.
Right.
If they think you're gonna be 6'2", you better grow your ass, but 6'2", just like Alan said. But what I'm frustrated with is that my guys getting offers, and it's more than none now. Back in the day, Isaiah Marshall got an offer in 7, and he progresses every day because he had a support staff
And a hell of a work ethic.
and a support staff that pushed him along.
Yeah.
But we have to understand that they think you have a chance to be a good player, but if you don't work, don't call it a fake offer. You just didn't do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah. Potential is an interesting word too, because that's what I was talking about with the rankings, is that we're projecting, and sometimes schools project.
Yeah.
They'll offer on potential. So that's where you get somebody who will say, well, my son has more tackles than that guy, has more yards than that guy, is a better football player than that guy. That dude hadn't even barely played. Why did he get an offer and my son didn't?
Ooh, wow.
Yes. Well, that question happens a lot too.
Yes, it does.
And that's why it happens. The schools so when I get asked, what does it take to get recruited? My answer is, you either have to be good at football, or you have to have the ability to be good at football someday.
Upside.
You don't have to be good right now.
That's right.
And that's the hard thing to explain sometimes, is that there's a lot of guys who weren't that great who became great. There's a lot of, there's examples of that. And so that's where I say, like, deciding what's important in the process, sometimes you can run for 3,000 yards and you may not get the offers you think you should.
But it's irritating as hell when your parent come up to you and say, hey, my son don't have no offers, but we just played West Bloomfield and they have 30 offers, and why we don't have any offers? Your recruiting is totally different from that kid at West Bloomfield, whatever position you play.
I do have to get going pretty soon here, but I want to finish on that point, in that when you get recruited and you enter into playing football, what's frustrating about it is you're entering in a process where you don't have all of the control. The schools are going to offer who they're going to offer, no matter what you do. You could work out every day until your arms want to fall off. You could throw for 4,000 yards and you may not get an offer. And there's nothing you can do to change it. And there's actually really nothing I can do to change it, or Reggie can do to change it.
Nope.
As much as people may think that that's the case, the schools are still going to offer who they're going to offer. You guys might know this, but in my outside of 247, I do stand-up comedy.
Yes, I do.
It's the same thing in that system, where I'm like, man, I'm way funnier than that guy. Why did he get the chosen and I didn't for this part or that part, but I understand that in this process, I don't call the shots. The person who's booking the show calls the shots. And in the case of recruiting, the school is the one who chooses who they offer. So you just create the best resume that you can to put in front of them in hopes that they will offer you. But they still have the control in this case until you get to college and become a good player. And then it shifts now because of NIL, where the player then starts to gain more of the control. But when you're in high school and you're getting recruited, for the most part, the schools get to make that decision.
Last question, Al, before you go. How do my kid get a profile on 247?
Good question.
Yep. So the best way is just to direct message me. I get a lot of messages, but I get to all of them eventually. They're also open, I believe, although I know things are a little bit. Elon Musk's X is a little bit different than it used to be, but shoot me a message and send me. I need all of your biographical information. So where do you go to school? Height, weight. If you send a huddle link, usually that's all on there. And that's my other thing is make sure that you have your huddle put together.
Yes.
Some guys have old heights and weights. You still have your freshman year height and weight on there. Make sure it's updated. Make sure that your social media is linked on your huddle. Make sure you have updated film. Again, it's like what is the best resume you can put out there? And so a lot of the time, the first thing that we will search and schools will search is your huddle. And so get that updated, shoot it over to me, and then we'll make sure that you get a profile if you are at this point in the process a prospect. We don't want to put every single guy who plays high school football in the database because that starts to muddy it up, and people who are searching for players will have to sift through all the profiles. So if you have a chance to play college football, we'll get you into the system.
Well, Alan, look, man, we appreciate you joining us, man. You definitely family. We both been knowing you for years, man, and I appreciate all the things you did for my family and kids I've worked with, and I'm sure I can speak for Reg as well. But what I will say to you, you just brought up being a comedian, man. So all the parents out there, now here's your chance to go critique Alan now. Go critique him when that hit your local comedy shop, man, and go check him out. But it's all love, Alan, man. Love what you do, man. Anytime you got a place with us. And keep doing what you do, brother.
Hey, he's funny as hell. I'm telling y'all that.
I appreciate it. And hey, between stand-up comedy and doing recruiting and being in the world of football, I have pretty thick skin. I wouldn't make it in either industry if I did. So I can take it. Bring it on. I like being roasted.
Yeah, he's my guy, man. I appreciate you, Big Al.
No doubt.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Be good, man. Now we can bring Mr. Jackson Pruitt back. What's up, big dog? You there?
Jackson. Hello.
Jackson playing the game Madden or something right now?
I see him right there.
Jackson. Let's
go. I mean, we still going to talk about these offers, man, and it's important, man. And
he froze. Okay, got it. Go ahead, Reg.
Alan just giving you a heads up on the bits and pieces of this recruiting, man. And I just want you guys to understand, man. That shit don't mean nothing, man. Just play football and help earn what you need to earn.
Right.
And we got to make it work, man. And I mean, it's no size requirement to be a good football player. Somebody's going to want you. When those guys want you, you go to those guys, man. Please do not stop working.
Yeah.
Do not stop working. I just saw some kids get an offer. I never heard of them. And saw one of them is on their JV film. That's okay. Got offered, but it's on JV film.
I think the common denominator in all this, what Nick was saying, Whiteside was saying earlier, and what Alan was saying is, no matter if you're a 5-star, Reg, say it's your sophomore year, junior year, no matter if you have no stars, the common denominator is put your head down and focus on the work. Yeah. Let all of us, critique you and, talk about what star you are or whatever, but don't buy into it. It's almost like I said, it's being an actor or entertainer or what have you. Sometimes you just focus on your craft, and people everybody's not going to love you. So, again, just do what you do and let the critiquers critique.
And let me help you understand this. If you want to be that guy, December 7th, I'm having a top 250 camp with all the writers there
you go.
And live streaming to the college coaches. So if you're that guy that you feel that you got under-recruited, Well, bring your ass. Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. Jackson.
You bet. Yeah, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Man, you sound so much better, big dog.
You get off that droid and got that, that iPhone. I appreciate it.
That iPhone 2. Now you got that 20, baby. There you go.
Hey, so we was talking with Alan, man, about what do early offers mean and how could you keep your offers? And you've been through this, so you can talk very extensive with this.
You go.
Yeah. But see, how do we understand what our profile is? Because see, a lot of people think because Alabama offered them, they can play at Alabama. So we got to have somebody in our corner to direct us, give us our profile. And it's okay now because the NIL is so prevalent now. So if you go to a MAC, if you think you're an Alabama player and you play 2 years, now you guaranteed NIL money. Because now you spend because you played at that MAC level, and now you got some productivity going on. Now you're being smart. Just give you. I was talking to a kid. Coach is finna get fired at the university. He said, "Coach, I want to go to the pros." No, because you were 5 to 7 round prior. You were a free agent. If you do one more year, you can get $30,000 a month. Do for 6 months. Get your degree from the other university. Then get drafted. So now you can build a bigger resume, and you just got $30K
There you go.
a month.
Yeah. Man, I always see two sides of the coin on this particular issue. Again, everybody likes the shiny car, the bigger car.
We do.
You know what I mean? And even though the Fiat and Lamborghini is going to both get you where you need to be,
Absolutely.
you know what I'm saying? I understand it because you may have the attitude, okay, Alabama offered me. I might not go there and play right away, Reg, but I feel like I'm a dog. I'm going to compete. Eventually, if I keep working, I'm going to get my shot, and I'm going to get on the field. That says a lot about a kid, too, though. That's willing to.
Well, and that goes back to what I said, and Jackson probably can talk about this. You got to have somebody in your corner and say, yep, you know what? Bryce Underwood can play every goddamn school out there.
Right.
Because I know his ability, skill set is tight. But see, what people don't know, his work ethic is unbelievable.
No doubt.
So success is around the corner, right? Now, if you have that same ability and your work ethic sucks, guess where you going?
But I'm not talking about the kid. I'm saying the guy that we know. Let's say Nick Whiteside, okay? Let's use him. Nick has some measurables, kind of short, wasn't that big, whatever. But let's just say, and Jackson, you can chime in on this. Just to say you got all the intangibles, but for whatever reason, you kind of fit. It's 3,000 other guys that fit your same skill set. If you look across the board, everybody kind of looks the same. It's nothing that really stands out. But Alabama offered you, but you feel like you're a dog. I'm get in that weight room. I'm going to prove that I can get on the field at Alabama. What do you say about that, Reg?
I mean, if you can prove that, that's fine. I'm okay with that. But I mean, today's an age. Why go sit for 2 years? You can play for 2 years and get paid.
Gotcha.
Right?
Good point.
So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good point.
No.
Jackson, what was when you were at Cass, man? What was the biggest, name school that you got, that offered you?
Yeah.
See, see, uh huh. Well, I think a great thing you had going for you, Jackson. You had your high school coach, and then you had Mr. Booby Wins over here, man. Because I guarantee you had one of your boys, somebody in the family saying, "Man, you turning down Tennessee to go to Temple?" Was that true?
Yeah, that's true. But it had to be the fit, the perfect fit.
Right.
He's starting right now for Temple. He's
No doubt.
playing. He's got a high GPA, 3.637. He got his NIL deals. So everything everybody wanted, he got it.
That's right.
All right, he's about to graduate,
Love it.
and so then he have a year left or 2 years left to transfer if that's the
If
case.
that's what he wants to do.
But,
Right.
but he's put himself in a situation where one education is going to be so fine. He's going to be fine, and NFL opportunity is going to present itself. He's going to be fine as well. Go play,
Right.
and it's okay. Now, if you're Bryce Underwood, you're dude. Elijah Dawson, you're dude. Okay, I got it. Avery Gosh, I got it.
But Reg, I don't I want to counter you a little bit with Bryce. I know Bryce is considered a can't miss,
Mhm.
but it don't mean that you ain't you ain't got to go to LSU now. You can still go to Michigan
can.
State. I'm just saying you can because we've seen 5 stars. Like Alan said, everybody's not because you're a 5 don't mean that's going to happen.
I watched this kid for 2 years, 3 years. He got different
No,
work ethic.
look, I agree with you guys, but all I'm saying is it sometimes it's more than that. You in Jackson and Red, you're saying this, it's the fit. Now, if he fits, great. Because we've seen 5 stars go places and didn't work out, bro. That's all I'm saying. Right. 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 Yep. Mm-hmm. No doubt. Mhm. Good point.
Now, and just to add to that, he has a great support staff. His dad and
No
mom
doubt.
is heavily involved, and it takes that. It takes that, and like Jackson, as well I know is work ethics win the game. It may not be tomorrow, but I watched this kid play wide receiver, and I say this: Bryce Underwood, the first pick overall receiver, and the first round draft pick at quarterback. He can't go wrong with either position just because his desire to be first It's so important. Iron sharpen iron, and he's a doo-doo,
I guess all I'm saying, guys, we focus so much what's in front of us
no doubt.
that sometimes we forget who's coming behind us. Or there's a 5-star coming behind me. You know what I mean? Because they're recruiting your replacement.
No doubt.
Let's be real clear on that. So guess what? I'm the 5-star today, but I'm recruiting. I'm at Michigan. I'm recruiting. I'm trying to see who's going to replace the guy that's here now. Because like Michigan, we look at their situation at quarterback. Why? How could they be in this situation? I guarantee they like, we got to figure this out. We got to go get whoever's the transfer, whoever. That's all I'm saying. It's always somebody coming behind you. You know, and we focus so much what's in front, the depth chart in front when I go to school, but you can't control who's coming behind you because they're coming to get your job.
Oh, no doubt. And that's NFL as well. So
No doubt.
I mean,
No doubt. There you go. Correct. No doubt. I think in Red and Jackson, you too young to know about probably these two guys. But Red, you know, when Michigan had the kid that played, he's a hell of a baseball player, played quarterback, and they'd already had it's gonna slip my mind right now. He ended up going to the Yankees.
oh God, Drew. I know you're talking about. Oh God,
Drew Henson.
Drew Henson.
Now,
His
remember-
mom was a teacher. Yeah, Drew Henson.
Now, who was the quarterback there when Drew was there? And they was going back and forth.
Oh, shit, the tall dude. I can't remember his name.
But they were both studs. That's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to say. Drew turned down baseball to go to Michigan and play quarterback, and Drew was the can't miss guy, man. And I during our time.
Right.
And then I cannot think of the kid. If anybody out there can chime in on this and help us out, but Drew, was it one time?
No time.
Okay, it'll come back to us. But whoever that guy was, he ended up taking Drew's spot.
That's right.
So again, nothing is promised, guys. That's really
I know, but that's just life. So I
Yeah,
mean, the grind is real. Your
Right, no
grind
doubt.
got to be. But I just came up with this 5-star that was lazy as hell. And what we talking about, because I'm thinking
Yeah.
about Bryce being successful because his mindset.
Sure.
So this guy that played DB that was at Colorado was a 5-star, and his mindset was a piece of baloney.
left. Yeah, he just
Right?
left. Yeah.
So he left and went to another university. His mindset, he went to Florida. I'm saying Florida.
Yeah.
6'2" corner,
Yeah.
and he's not playing there.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's not playing there.
Yeah. Again.
You know what I mean? My point is this. We have to know what our profile are.
Right.
And then you're gonna have to trust your surrounding people to say, hey, Reggie, you're a Division II player.
There you go.
And you got a Division I offer. If they accept it, you go to play and earn it. But if you want to play and come back in 2 years and get that NIL money, you got opportunity. That's just another option.
No doubt.
But if you know that this kid cannot work, and I mean cannot work or don't work, don't send his ass to LSU.
Good point.
Because you just said the magic word. They're bringing a replacement in every year.
Every year, baby.
So I just got a little hot on that, a little flashy because I'm trying.
I love it. I
I'm
love
just
it.
trying to get y'all mindset.
And look,
going.
I'm just trying to stimulate conversation.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt.
Hey, Bryce, if you out there, bro,
No,
hey, you gonna do your thing, baby.
ain't
I
no
believe
question.
in them. But I
Ain't no
just,
question.
again, I'm being devil's advocate.
no,
just
no
to
question. Hey,
spark.
so
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That matters. Jackson, your do's and don't in recruiting. Your do's and your don't in recruiting.
My dues in recruiting: go compete, go to camps, go whatever offers you got or you think you got, go compete. Because you could be the day before signing day, and that coach will say, "Yeah, I'm out the door,"
Mm.
and you're not gonna have nothing to fall back on because you've been committed to hometown state since January your sophomore year, and you ain't talked to a coach. Um, Always make sure you updating your game film. That's a big piece. Coaches really looking at that. Like right after our games, our coaches are on huddle looking at recruits. Make sure your Twitter and Instagram is clean. It is your name, so people can click on it and see it's you. Uh, I, I literally watched my coach try to look a kid up, and we could not find his Twitter.
Not find them yet.
Wow.
And he probably missed out on the offer, honestly.
Wow.
Hey, that's funny because that's true. Because I looked up the kid Twitter and I couldn't find it, man. And the kid had sweet daddy Joe and shit. You know, and like what? I'll never go find your name.
Never.
So you're right, Jackson. You got to make sure that social media is in order. Make it simplex as possible, man.
And
Hey,
my-
and I want to let you guys know, just answer the question with Drew Henson.
Drew Hinton.
Tom Brady.
It was Tom Brady.
The junior Tom Brady beat our local freshman quarterback, Drew Henson, for the job.
Okay.
wow,
And what was Tom Brady coming out of high school, guys?
no
Star
star.
recruiting?
Yeah.
How many stars?
I think he had
What,
two.
one or two?
Two.
That's my point. Drew was 5-star, can't miss, bro.
Hey, man, go look up Drew running the 40-yard dash, man.
But anyway, Jackson, man, hey, anything else before?
Yeah,
go
because I
ahead.
was going to talk about a little bit the D1. Man, explain the D1 rules, the scholarships, because you on that Temple level in D1. Explain that D1, how it works for the people, man.
So right now, each team has 85 scholarships that they can distribute amongst the team, and that could be with your current roster, who you add on, and whatever you got to retain it. And it's our coaches, and there's new positions now where they have general managers and people here to manage the roster. So if you've been here for 2-3 years and you're not getting no better, you're not performing. And the way I look at it is too is if you're a true freshman, you coming in late to practice, late to workouts, late to anything, they'll say, hey, we don't think it's gonna work out. Maybe you should in the portal, or you could be a regular student, but we don't want you on the team.
Right.
Then you got NIL that factors in everything, and even now it's gonna get more interesting because next year they're just gonna cap the roster, so there's no more NIL walk-ons. It's
Right.
gonna be 110 scholarships, and they can split up however they want to. So we can go, hey, we'll pay for your room and board, but you gotta pay for your own school. You gotta pay for your own school.
Mm.
So at Division One, is the room and board included and all that stuff?
So right now, in the current day and age, it is everything is included, and you get we got full scholarships. But what they're gonna do is, they're gonna get rid of the whole NIL walk-on thing by saying you get 110 roster spots, and you can use the scholarships and you can split them up amongst the team how you want to. So say I'm at Temple, I get an in-state kid from Philadelphia. All the in-state kids get free housing here. So they're not gonna we're not gonna use a full scholarship on you. We're just gonna pay for your education, and we'll pay for your education, and you'll be a half scholarship. If you're a guy that's not producing, a guy that's canceled the team, you may end up being on half scholarship.
Mm.
So
Wow.
Now, it sounds like when you finish with your pro career, man, you got a job, man, and yeah, your knowledge as a young man is incredible. So you definitely got a future once football is done. Long time from now.
I'm still drilling you because I'm drilling you. So that means it's a scholarship all 4 years, or they can put a scholarship in 1 year.
So scholarships technically are reviewed at the end of each year.
Absolutely.
But and this was something me and Red talked about.
Mhm.
And what it's looking like with these NIL deals is going to become a thing where you're going to sign a 2-year NIL deal along with your NLI to say, hey, you staying here for 2 years.
Yeah.
There it is.
And that's what it is. That's got to be, because you get that year, your freshman year, the rest of your freshman year, you can really gauge when with somebody. Not only you got late bloomers and stuff like that, but them first 2 years are the most critical years.
Right.
So what? So Division I AA's have full scholarships too.
Division I AA's do have full scholarships, but they currently operate on the system that Division I FBS is putting in now.
Right. So can you get a partial scholarship at Division I AA program?
Yes, you can.
Now, can you name a few Division I AA programs?
Northern Michigan's one, right?
No, that's D2.
Division I AA.
Youngstown.
Okay. So Youngstown,
Colgate.
all
Yeah.
the HBCUs, Jackson State,
Yep.
the Jackson State, Alabama State, Norfolk State's one, I think.
Norfolk State. Yeah.
Mhm.
It's one.
We got one here, St. Francis, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, so what I'm trying to do is just put you in the conversation, because I was going to talk about this Division II and Division I AA programs. So what if my son want to go to Ivy League? Do I got to can we get a scholarship?
So if you go Ivy League, how the Ivy League program works is you're paying for school. Now you can earn scholarships throughout the school. Cole, that went to West Bloomfield, Orchard Lake and King.
Mhm.
He goes to Penn, and he has something worked out where he gets like a scholarship, like not a full scholarship, but it's like, money off of school, but you still technically paying for school. But at the end of the day, you're playing Ivy League football, and
Correct.
Ivy League is on a different scale than NCAA. They don't play bowl games. They're not even really a part of the NCAA.
Yes, so Ivy League's just started they're in the second week of their season.
Right.
Yeah, so they start later. They don't have playoffs, none of that stuff.
Right.
But
They
now
don't have
Ivy
bowl
League
games.
tuition is minimum 75 to 80 grand a year. But it's
And-
probably what I'm saying. I'm missing something.
And Ivy Leagues don't got red shirts. You got 4 years of college football, and that's it.
Wow. Hell, I didn't know that.
No.
Wow.
But I mean, it's a lot of kids that's going to Ivy League now and getting drafted from the Ivy League.
Oh,
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure.
That Princeton receiver last year, he's playing starting for the Bengals.
Tackle for Yale got picked up in the 5th round this year.
Second round last year. Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
This year.
And again, it goes back to opportunity.
Opportunities, man, and I'm really poking and prying, and I know people have dreams, and I have this dream school, and everybody have this dream school, but it may not be for you today.
Right.
Yeah,
It doesn't mean not tomorrow.
Right.
and that's the biggest thing. Like Red to tell you, I had the biggest dream in the world. I'm like, I gotta go to Michigan State. I gotta go to Michigan State.
Right.
Or I'm not living my dreams like that. And you learn pretty fast. Like, you could get to your goals and get to your dreams, but you gotta put you gotta tell your one big goal. My one big goal is I want to play in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta go, okay, where is that gonna be best for me at, and who's giving me the opportunity? And that was kind of going to be one of my don'ts for recruiting. Do not beg a school
Wow.
to take you.
Wow.
Right, because you're right, because you want them to love for you for who you are and your ability.
Right.
Because if you're the 4th guy that they got because they missed out on everybody, when you get there the first day, don't get me wrong, everybody's still on scout team. But you're going to be so deep down the scout team list, you're just there for practice.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. So
Now that you didn't go to state, now you get to go against state
Right.
and make a name and do what you got to do for yourself.
so
Amazing.
run a few more questions for you. Run by your D2s, and then what is it? The D2 scholarships and how that works.
So I'm not sure on the number count, but Division II has full scholarships, but those are yearly based, more than D1s for sure. And they can increase and reduce the scholarship depending on how the years goes. I'm not sure how in-state goes, and if you listen to this and you go to a DPS school, you go to school for free to most of the D2s in Michigan.
Some of them. So that is
Yeah,
correct.
some of
Like,
them. Some of
Wayne
them.
State has this program that if you have a Detroit address, you can get tuition free. Ferris State has this program, TIP, unprivileged financial family. can go tuition free. Now, Division II is predicated on finances of your family, your mother, income, academics, football, all type of other merits, scholarships. So they give you all this different money and make up a money to cover your costs. And that's D2, right? D2, Grand Valley, Saginaw Valley. And again, you're just trying to get to school and get your degree and get your education. Division III is similar to the Ivy League somehow. Academics is important. They don't give football scholarship, but they give additional scholarship. Alma has a program. If you have a certain address, you can go to school for free, tuition-wise. Still got to cover room and board. Majority of these Division III programs have some form scholarship for you, but it ain't football.
Right.
All right, so they match Alma and Adrian or Albion offer to get you paid and go to school, right? So we just need to make sure that we understand this. NAIA is another division, not NCAA, but NAIA gives you scholarship. It can give you full scholarship, but they're going to break it up in increments of what you got. You got finances. You got football scholarship. You got ACT, GPA. They give you money to close in that total tuition cost. So what I'm saying is we are giving you options to go to school.
Right.
Everybody that plays football out there that want to go to school, there is options. There is options. So because you don't go where you want to go, and you said you don't want to play football, you didn't love the football anyway.
No doubt.
Okay? If your parents is willing to do whatever to support you, you're fine. If you want to do it, you can do it.
Well, man, look, hey, I just want to chime in. I see Anthony Cartwright chimed in and said, "Preach." And again, we're praying for your son, man. I know, he's out for the year, like I reported earlier.
I just heard about that this morning, man.
Yeah,
That's his cousin.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was his.
That's my little cousin.
Okay.
He looked just like.
You know what? I'm looking at him. He sure does, man. But we praying for Cartwright, man. I mean, again, he's a phenomenal kid, phenomenal young man, excellent student, 3 sports stud. So we praying for him, man. I know he's gonna come back stronger and be better than ever. So
Hey, Cartwright, Uncle Red's gonna tell you, man, tape that shit up and spit on it. Let's go, baby.
hey, I don't know about a broken
Ankle, I
bone, baby. But look, we ran really late tonight. Hey, because Jackson, man, we appreciate you, man. We definitely, we worked out the audio issue, so we wanted to give you your due, man, and we appreciate you coming on. We know you got a heavy schedule, man, there on Temple, man. Keep doing what you're doing. We proud of you, man, and check back with us, man, as the season goes.
You got a bye this week?
Yeah, we off this week.
He's off this week. You coming home?
Yeah, I'll probably be there Friday.
Let's go get some breakfast, y'all.
Who y'all play next?
We play Tulsa, so not this week, but next week.
Okay. Well, man, hey, again, appreciate you, big dog. Keep doing what you're doing, man. We expect nothing but great things from you, and it's all love, all right?
Hey, Uncle Reg love you, dog. I'm proud of
Love you too, man.
We came a long ways, baby. Hey, look, and now you teach about recruiting class.
Ain't that something?
You know what I mean?
You got a job, man.
That's my baby, man.
Hey, that NFL, when them days 20 years from now are over, bro.
Hey, he
you
always
gonna be good.
Hey, he's one of my players who always listen. He like what I had to say, but he listened to me. He trusts me, man. And he got 3-7 down the Temple, baby.
What?
Wake up, baby.
What?
Hell yeah, and he playing football.
Right. Well, hey, man, go ahead, do your thing, big dog. We know you got a lot of things going on.
Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, for sure. We
All
sure.
right, love you, nephew.
We'll talk to you soon.
too.
All right,
Have a good one. Man.
good show, man. We got some vital. I mean, the importance of information.
Yes.
is huge.
Yes.
It's huge, man.
Yes.
And keep. I'm gonna teach you and give you everything I possibly can, man, just so I can and help you increase your opportunities, man. So, I mean, I don't care if you like me or don't like me. I don't give a shit. But what I do care about is giving you much information to utilize, man. Yeah. And I'm saying this right now. If you want to be that dude, come and play against those dude. December 7th, I got a top 250. If you're not invited, because it's invitation only.
Yes, sir.
If you're not invited, you better send me your film. And underclass, no seniors. But you come on down here and rock and roll with Booby, man, and let's get it going. I'm gonna have
We're gonna be there. We're gonna be there live, right?
We're gonna be there live,
Okay,
right? And then I'm gonna get Devin Gardner to come in, man, and we're gonna do some things, man.
Let's do it.
But so, if you're ready to be that guy, and Alan True and 247 group of teams, Sam Webb from Michigan going to be there.
Yes, sir.
4-3 is going to be there. So all these guys can go back and tell University of Michigan, Michigan State that, hey, man, Johnny
this guy
Gill
out.
is good, baby. You know what I mean? So,
Ralph Tresvant too.
you know what I mean? Yeah, if he can run a 40, baby, he's good. So, come on down. Hey, Najee got some skills too, you know?
Well, we're gonna leave Bobby Brown at home.
No, he's too slow, dog.
Right. Hey, Rich, man, good show, man. You got me laughing, but man, I'm just enjoying what we're doing, bro. And
Yeah, it's fun.
I see it's growing, and people are chiming in, and that's what this is all about, Rich.
Yeah.
You're providing a platform for these young men and their parents alike, man, to learn and get the information that they need that you and I didn't get.
Yeah,
We didn't get that
it.
information.
I didn't get it.
So, hey, all love, man. We're gonna keep doing what we do. We're gonna come back next Sunday, same time, same place.
Yeah,
right?
Saint. What week is that? 13?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I got a kickoff meeting that day too, so I got a kickoff meeting, so we'll figure that out.
Okay. And Anthony Cartwright, thanks, man. Yep, it's all love, bro.
Ooh.
You got you chimed in. 400 viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, we
So
growing, baby.
we got the open the kickoff meeting. If you want to be a part of my program and learn more about me as well as my program, is October 13th at 6 to 8 o'clock at UWM.
There it is.
So
and then something I want to say to your viewers, man. We looking for sponsorship.
oh, please.
We looking for sponsors, man. We got this our guy over here, our engineer, and
Effie Media,
Effie Media, what he does, and he's helping us out. But it ain't free, baby. So if you guys out here have a business, you want to contribute to what we're doing, it don't have to be a whole lot, but it helps. Everybody needs sponsors. So we ain't McDonald's or Coca-Cola, baby, but we definitely would appreciate the support. You guys seeing what we do. If you think the demographic fits, hey, get with Reg, get with me, and we'll make sure we get you guys sponsored on the show and run some ads and do some things so we can keep doing what we're doing, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot. Hey, shout out to Quest Transportation, baby. My babies, man.
Yes, sir.
Take care of me for the last 5 years, man. I know 8 Mile, man, in Detroit, man. Romy Rome over there, man. My bus driver, man, is Chucky D over there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So like I said, thank you to the guys, man. Quest Transportation, baby.
Drew Terry says, nice podcast, fellas. We appreciate that, Drew, man. All the comments, sorry we can't get to everybody, but we appreciate the love. So, again, great show. Reg, anything else?
Chicken and shrimp.
Chicken and shrimp, baby. I'm going home to get some rest. So I had a long night. Go home, take me some NyQuil, go to bed. But look, we'll be back 7 o'clock next Sunday. We hope to see y'all there. Peace, love, hair grease, shrimp grits, all that good stuff.
Have a good night, baby.
Holla back.